Welcome, everybody. It's Chris and Nora, and tonight we are talking about manifestation. We're going to talk about the modern and ancient ways of learning how to manifest, the simple steps, and why, when you apply them, they're not necessarily that simple. We have yet to come up with a new name, so welcome to the Chris and Nora show.
Hi, guys.
We are in different studios, or should I say homes, because God bless the Eagles, they won, and I live on Broad Street where the parade is going to be tomorrow. So just
There's
for
no
logistics,
parking.
no parking, nowhere to go. Chris is coming from home. So I hope this, like, you can see us well and hear us well. Please let us know if you have any trouble hearing what's going on in the show. Hello, Nidell. I know I just butchered your name. I'm sorry, honey. I don't have Chris here to hit me and make sure I pronounce names correct. Teresa, welcome aboard. Glad to see you joined us also. And Lori, always good to see you, honey. So tonight's show is about manifestation. And because we're in different areas, I'm going to ask Chris to be like my guest. Hello, Miss Chris. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Miss Nora.
What can you tell us about manifestation?
Manifestation comes from the heart. It depends what your intent is. Hi, everybody. Hi, Carla and Mel.
Yeah, we got Melissa, we have Carla, we have Gina. Thank you, guys.
You have to understand how manifestation starts. It starts in your heart and what you really want and what you believe you're worthy to have. If you believe that you can manifest it and that God will give it to you, you'll get it. A lot of people, when we ask and we pray for things for people, when they don't get it within a reasonable time period, for Nora and I, we go back and we say to the angels and God, what's the holdup? And a lot of times we'll hear, they're in our way. Get them out of our way. And I'm like, what do you mean they're in the way? They know they want it. They asked us to pray for it. We prayed for it. Where's our gift? If you truly don't believe that you're going to be given that gift and that you're worthy of it, it's not going to work. And like attracts like. And you also have to work on the ethics of it all. There's ethics to everything that we do. We don't just go to God and say, we want. We ask for what we believe we need. We pray first. Then we go and we ask what we need and what we want. And then we believe that we're worthy to have it and that He's going to give it to us, no matter how wild our request is. We've asked in our prayer group for healings for people that had breast cancer, and you could visibly see the breast cancer in the breast. Like, you could feel it. And 10 days later, it wasn't there, and the doctors are scratching their heads going, it was there because we got the scan that shows it was there. But we believed as a group that God would take that from that person. And we got it. It happens.
What you're saying is you can manifest health, if I'm understanding you correctly. You can manifest health if you believe you're not entitled, but if you really believe that what you're asking you shall receive, you are actually going to receive it, is what you're saying. Okay.
And if you use two or more gathered in His name, He will listen. And that's why we use our little prayer group. I belong to another prayer group it's called the Circle of Light. And it's for healers all around the country, from California to New Mexico to Canada to New England. And we do it we do it specifically twice a month for people with addiction issues. The rest of the time, we just do a general once a week prayer group. And even those ladies aren't as successful as our little group in the Delaware Valley. And the reason is, I believe, because we do it every day and we're more faithful to what we do.
Well, let's just say hello to a few other people, because Shauna, nice to have you back. She wasn't feeling well last week. And it's Nilda. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate the phonetics. Gina, we are on, and Laura, thanks for joining us. Sandy, nice to see you.
Hi, Deb.
And Melissa, guys, it's so great to have you all with us. Deb, you also. I want to jump in and add a little bit to what Chris was saying. Manifestation is from within, and the primary thing you must remember, and the Buddhists talk about this, and they want to say New Age talks about this, but it's in all religions, and in the Kabbalah, which of course I'll be bringing up again, all is one. And if you can really get all is one, there is no time and there's no space. And whatever you choose to manifest, if you are truly in the proper state of mind, as Chris is speaking about, and I'll talk about a little more also, it happens in an instant. It doesn't take an eternity. If you ever listen to, gosh, who's that guy? Really great guy. Awaken the Giant Within was his book. I'll think of his name and I'll tell you in a few moments. But
Wayne Dyer?
No. This is a real go-getter, powerful speaker about, like, you want to change your life, you do it in an instant. And that's what manifestation is. It's in an instant. You don't have to wait and hope. And if you're waiting, there's something within you, like Chris is saying, that doesn't feel worthy. And therefore, the unworthiness.
Anthony Robbins.
Thank you. That's who it is. Tony Robbins. Thank you so much, Shauna. That's who it is. So, but like Chris was saying, if you don't manifest it, there's something in you that doesn't feel worthy, and that not worthy is like attracts like, is attracting unworthiness, and that unworthiness is not going to get you what you're manifesting. And also, I'd like to address where you were talking a little bit about integrity. Like, we all seem to manage parking spaces. Like, we somehow can manage to manifest a parking space. Why can't we manifest that relationship that we want, the type of relationship? Why can't we manifest the type of job we want? What would you say, Chris, is the difference? Because to me, I would think there's no difference. Like, you're either able to do it or you're not. But there must be something that stops us from getting those bigger things. And I have my theories and beliefs. What are yours?
Well, a lot of times it has more to do with your past than your present. Sometimes it can be past life ties. It can be holdovers from a past life. It can be something from childhood that you haven't emotionally blocked yourself from receiving. Whether it was a conversation you had with a mother, a father, an aunt, a grandparent, somebody important in your life, and you just felt that was never, because somebody told you were never going to be successful. So you never thought you could be successful. Or something that you read and it was considered a romance at that time, a romance novel. So it was like, it only happens in a novel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really put your hand on it, and you don't really think that that's for you. And you see different things in different romances, like when you want to manifest a relationship. Yes, it did work for our Eagles, Tina, and I was telling Nora that before the show.
We started praying for the Eagles, believe it or not, on game one. Game one, I know we're getting off the subject. First game of the season, I said to Chris, let's pray they win. My husband loves them, and these guys, they've been struggling for so many years. And she said, yeah, we'll pray for a win. I said, Chris, let's pray for a Super Bowl win. And she looked at me and she says, all right, but that's a lot you're asking. But that was not just our prayers. That was those men praying as a group, and that was their hard work, God rewarding it. So yes, it did work for our Eagles. So back to the show.
But that's truly exactly what I said to Nora before the show. We as a city and the team and the fans manifested our complete package of what we saw the ultimate outcome as. And even though they were up against the Patriots that we had lost against before, nobody could imagine them winning, but we just put it on the back burner and said they're just going to win. And nobody even looked at the fact that they weren't going to win. And what that mindset, it got them to push through. It got not just the fans being present in Minneapolis and all their cheering, because I do think that had a big influence on the players. You know, them being surrounded by Philly fans that came all the way out of their homes in the winter, in the cold, just to be there for them.
Older place.
Yeah, they weren't even somewhere colder than here.
So I want to talk a little bit about the. Can I jump in?
Surrounds too.
Yeah. Oh, you complete with that, because I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Usually we're next to each other. We could just poke when it's our turn. We want to say something. I can't poke. I have to outright interrupt. So if we go back to, and I'm going to try to pull this up for you guys to see. Yes, it is that Kabbalah thing again, because this really encompasses a lot of mysticism, and a lot of what Chris and I talk about is mysticism. So you have the great I am on the very top, and on the bottom you have the small I am. It is at the great I am where the essence is, where we have that sudden thought of what it is we desire. Then we move that down. That thought comes out from where our Godhead is, where God is the I am, that I am. That is everything in between. The thought coming from the Almighty to the second I am to us. So all that, the word that is everything in between. And that is our spirit grabbing it and saying, yes, I want this. I have the desire. To our mind believing we have it. And the mind is the builder. The mind is what makes it so, to actually having it happen down at the bottom, the plane of action, the material part. So we're taking I am that I am, the name of God. And we're saying, based on many, not just the Kabbalah, but also on Christian belief, I am that I am is the name of God. Well, I am that being what it is you want to manifest. That I am who I am now. So when I'm praying in something that I want to manifest, I'm saying I am as if God is telling me I am. That equals a best-selling author, because I really chose that. I really wanted that I am, and it manifested. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yep.
Okay, good, because I can't hear our audience, and I do want to read a little bit of what some of them are saying. So you get an idea of what Chris and I are saying. And yes, Shauna, it really is ask, believe, receive. That is the power of the mind. The ask is when you're first bringing it out from God. The believe is the spirit, feeling the emotion of it. Receive is the material, actual happening. So Matthew, thank you and welcome aboard. And the same with Maria. Nice to have you. You guys are really great. And please feel free to chime in on your opinions with this, because we want to hear your views too, not just what we're saying. Melissa, exactly what Shauna said. If you believe, you receive. It's amazing when you know what can happen and be real, how the universe conspires to make it happen. And conspire is true. It's so crazy how Chris and I often will talk about how weird it is, how things just came about for us and with our prayers. It really does feel like it's conspiring. I love that. So what else would you like to add to this, Chris? What's the next piece you want to share?
The ethics about it, they have to realize that it's not all supposed to be about self-gain. When you're using your higher good, you're allowed to ask for things for yourself, but it can't be, I want to win the lottery. Gambling, things of a lower vibration, you have to be very careful with what you're asking for. I mean, if you want to use it as a toggle switch, like gambling, if you want to use it as a yes-no factor, and you say, okay, I got a quarter, and I'm going to flip it heads for yes, tails for no. That's acceptable because it's a yes-no factor. It's not, I'm taking $1,500 that I was supposed to pay the mortgage with, and I'm going to Chester, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to see if God loves me today. No, because you're putting him in a position where he's going to be like, uh-oh. They fell
Thou shalt not test them.
They bumped their head somewhere along the lines. So you got to remember that you got to use wisdom with it, and you got to be rational, and you got to be patient sometimes because they don't have time on the other side. And God's time, I tell everybody, is not always our time. He'll let you know when he's ready.
And that's such great advice about the vibration of what you're asking for. You know, in the prayer group, we're asking for healings. That's a high vibration request. We're not asking for ourselves. We're asking in God's name that this person be healed. We don't ask for credit because it's not ours we didn't earn it. You know, it's God's credit when we have nothing to do with it. So this is a higher vibration. If we're asking for accidental $1,000 to please fall on my lap so I can make my bills, sometimes it will happen, but it's less inclined to happen the way you think. It will come about if the reason is has a high vibration. Say the reason is your child got ill, you fall behind. It's a different situation than you went and just partied really hardy and spent the money unnecessarily. Now you're asking out of lack of control versus desire because you had an ill child. So money will manifest. It just depends on how you're asking and where you're looking. But real quick, I just want to say, yes, Tina, we know he's a Texas boy and we love him anyway. Lori, go Birds, and Mary Lou, nice to have you back. Aaron, I know you were sick. I've seen your Facebook sites. I'm so happy you joined us tonight. Melissa, yes, you do have a chance to get that relationship. So let's talk a little bit about relationships.
Well, hold on. There was a question before that came up on the screen about coincidences that we need to address.
All right, I'm scrolling down because I didn't see that. I did not see it. Maybe it came up through your feed. Because remember, Chris, we're on a different time. Remember,
okay, well, somebody asked about what do you do about coincidences?
Are you able to scroll down on your screen and grab it?
No.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Melissa, same person. So that's cool. Where does coincidence fall into this subject? There are no coincidences.
Right.
Just like there are no accidents. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm with Nora. There's no coincidences. There's no accidents. It's just planned and you just didn't see it coming. And that's their way of saying that if you asked for it and you didn't get it right away, they're just showing you, here's a little road marker. And it's not a coincidence you were just thinking about it. They heard you. But the more that you're in a state of grace is what I call it. You're more in realm with what you're supposed to be doing. And you're co-creating with the universe as you're supposed to. You're going to find you're going to think about things and they're going to happen. And it gets a little freaky after a while because it even freaks me out. And then I call Nora and go, listen, I make sure we're batting for the right side. A or B. And she's like, what the heck are you talking about? A. I'm like, okay. Because they start just giving you stuff and it's like right, left, sideways. And you're just like, oh my God, they're in my head. Well, of course they're in your head. They're in your heart too. And they hear what you're saying. And sometimes they just give it to you automatically. Other times they're waiting for you to come to a realization in your heart.
Well said. I just want to throw up here real quick, Erin's son. Erin, I've been watching her on Facebook, and her son have been really sick. So she's asking the group that's online now to just say a quick little prayer. So in your heart, reach out and ask for healing for her son so that by the end of the show, let's manifest perfect health and a broken fever. Why not? So
And we'll send Archangel Raphael to the rescue.
There we go.
To heal her little son.
Ashana is basically saying the same thing Chris and I are saying. You have to be within God's laws. It must be for your highest good. So so like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about Melissa with relationships. Your highest good might not be a relationship. You might have come into this life with the intent to learn a lesson and to never have a relationship. So you don't realize it. Your lesson is to go through the pain, to go through the unhappiness, and to learn to cope and deal and make the best of and find the joy in no relationship. Because there's a lesson to be learned, something that you planned out. We don't know God's highest and best good for us. I have an awesome, wonderfully powerful friend. Her name is Judy. And a long time ago, she said this to me. She says, we all look out there and think we understand the whole of our life, when really there's a big sheet in front of us with a tiny little prick, pinhole. And we're looking through that little pricky pinhole, and we think we see everything that matters in our life, all the paths, all the past lives, future lives, all the decisions, all the lessons we agreed to make. We don't see it. We see a tiny little pinhole. But if it's not coming through like a relationship, there might be more to it that you just don't see. And that being said, you might not have it because you don't think you're good enough. And that's that like attracts like that Chris and I were talking about earlier. Maybe daddy didn't think you deserved the attention as much as your sister, so you always felt like I'll be second best. Or the boy in class never really liked you. They always liked the other girl, and you always felt like you would never be good enough. Well, if that's your internal clock, that's your internal beacon saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, there's always somebody better, there's always somebody better, that's what you're going to get. That is what you're manifesting. Okay?
So how do we teach them to clear that?
Get off it.
They might not know they're on it.
So anyway, that comes from the forum. Anybody who knows about Landmark Forum, just get off it. Powerful, powerful stuff in case you're ever interested. How do you do it? What would you suggest? I have a thought. What would you suggest to help a person get off it?
Okay. Well, if you guys are asking specifically for one thing over a period of time, and it's not being given to you, or you're not achieving it, or you're not able to manifest or co-create with any aspect of it. If they give you one aspect and they're not giving you the whole enchilada, you got to ask why. Okay? And you have to be in a state of prayer and listen for the answer, not just assume you know the answer. Okay? And it might take time. If you're still not getting anywhere, go to God and ask Him to clear whatever obstacles are in your way. Use a powerful prayer, use words that come to your heart, and just speak to Him. And ask Him to take Him into your heart, your heart and spirit into His heart, and clear whatever obstacles that stand in your way of true joy and happiness in this lifetime, with reference to this specific issue, whatever the issue is, whether it be job, money, health, wealth, fame, fortune, whatever it is. You ask Him to show you the way and to make the way for you. And you'll start, once you promise to get out of His way, you have to allow Him to do whatever He's going to do. And I usually just sit on my hands to remind myself I'm not allowed to be helpful Hannah. God said no helpful Hannah. So I sit here in my meditation chair like a little kid. I go, okay, God, I'm waiting. See, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting. And I do the little bouncy that tells them, like, I got to pee, Dad. Come on, I got to pee. You got to hurry. And they sit there and laugh at me on the other side. And I know they do. Nora laughs at me all the time. I don't care. But eventually, you'll see the shift. Once you believe and you're well aware that you can make the shift, you'll see it.
Erin is saying the same thing. You need to be specific in your prayers. And I do agree with Chris that you have to ask that God clear away the blocks. We can't always do it on our own. And Melissa has, I hear this theory often. The other side doesn't hear don't, won't, can't. They hear can, will, and do. I disagree with that, but there's a lot of people that believe it. So here's the thing. If you believe it, it's true for you. Don't use, don't, won't, can't. If you don't really think that's true, then that's true for you. Everything is true for whatever you believe because you're creating your future. And that's kind of what this manifestation is about, that we're talking about. At every moment, we're creating and building something. So we're either creating and building that these are the rules and the blocks, or we're creating and building here's a peace and harmony. Our thoughts are things, and our thoughts create. Our mind is the builder. So if your thoughts are on peaceful things, prayerful things, you are building around you heaven on earth. If your mind is on things of anger and that conversation that you had with somebody 2 hours ago on the phone that you're still pissed off about, you're still having that conversation in your head, you're manifesting anger into the world and around you. You are never not manifesting. So control and pay attention to your thoughts. On that, if it's all right with you, Chris, I want to pull up something else. This is the jump down here. This material is available, guys, just like always. You go to the website. The tag is in this thing in the comments. Like one of the first comments is where to go to get these. So Cayce talks about having your ideal. What is it that you focus on? So if your ideal is financial freedom, you want to think about somebody like Bill Gates. Financial freedom, you want to understand emotionally where he's at. What does he feel? You want to have that. You want to think like he thinks. You want to focus like he focuses. And then you will manifest the physical material things like a paid off home, a paid off car. You become a philanthropist like he did. But this is mind being the builder. If your mind is now on focusing on what it is to be like and act like Bill Gates in only his fiscal stuff, not in his generosity. I'm not talking about him. You don't want to be a clone of him. You help to manifest that. And that is how you make it happen. And you do the same thing with spirituality. My ideal is Christ. Somebody else might be Buddha. Somebody else might be Muhammad. But my ideal is Christ. So I focus on what emotions will bring, I believe Christ had, what kind of unconditional love and joy, so that can get manifested out into the world. Again, I'm choosing to focus on prayer throughout the day. When I find my mind, I catch my mind wandering, I go right back to what's going on in a prayer group, and I'm sending prayerful thoughts and love. So I'm creating a heaven around me. I hope that makes, I hope you guys can follow that. It really is, the mind is the builder. And all of that comes from the Edgar Cayce readings and what he taught.
Well, I'll tell you a little thing my grandmother used to tell me. It's mind over matter, and matter don't matter.
I love that.
She told me that was her little saying. It's mind over matter, honey, and matter don't matter, because it's just going to change.
I'm trying to figure out this question, Carla's question, if it is a question. So how do you ask correctly for anything? Money, love, house.
That's easy.
Yeah, go ahead, address it for me.
I basically would go to God, and after saying my prayer and getting to I call it my special point, where I feel like we're in the presence of each other. And I would just tell him, these are my list of needs and wants and beliefs that I need, and he's going to manifest. And I'll tell you, it works. And all you do is you show him through your heart chakra what you want. If you want a house, you explain to him, I want this kind of house and I want it to be in this location and I want this kind of money to pay for this kind of house. And I would like it to have these kinds of assets. And you can describe it like a shopping list. Like a shopping list.
It's key that you don't tell God how to do it.
No, you just tell him what you want.
Right, like Chris
and
said,
then you let go.
On your hands is what Chris is referring to. Because we'll limit it. Like I said, my friend said, we're only looking at a little pinhole. God might manifest that perfect house with the financial ability by getting you fired.
Right.
And you're like, and then you land in this job that you love, that has the money, making the money that affords you the mortgage to get the house you really want. But you're not thinking that. You're thinking, I really hate this job, but I want this house. God, I need this promotion. I need this promotion. Well, God's going to get you the promotion. You're going to be really unhappy. It's not what he wanted for you, but you're limiting him. God, I want to provide for my family with this beautiful home in this neighborhood, and I leave it to you to figure it out. Sit on your hands, like Chris said.
I just make it like a shopping list. I give them a shopping list. In my mind, I write it out nice and detailed, exactly what I want, what kind of furniture you want, the whole 9 yards. Draw them a picture if you have to. And then you clip it all together and you hand it to them and you say, here, God, for when you get around to it, I would really appreciate you giving these things to me. And you'll start to see them manifest. And they'll come in the strangest ways. And it'll be like, that didn't just happen. And you'll be calling your best friend going, something weird just happened. And they'll be laughing at you going, didn't you ask for it?
Exactly. Well, if your friend is Chris, she'll be saying that. Maria has a great question. Can you pray for someone else to manifest a change? Of course you can. You can pray for anything. And sometimes people don't change because we're holding them in a certain way. Now, maybe I don't want to share that. Let's make pretend you're holding a friend's brother as a complete ass. And he's just loud, obnoxious, always loud and obnoxious, and always will be loud and obnoxious. Well, that's what I'm manifesting. I'm holding that person that way. Now, I can pray, Lord, please don't let him be an ass today. I just can't take any more, and I'm trying my best to be a good Christian. Please don't let him be an ass today. He's still going to be an ass because I believe him to be that way. So if I could just look and say, Lord, using the Ho'oponopono prayer, I think we mentioned it in one of the other one of our other recordings. Yeah, is Lord, I'm sorry I see this person as an ass. Please help me see them the way you see them, a perfect child of God. And in your mind, you would say to that person, I'm sorry I saw you as an ass. Please forgive me. I wish to see you as a perfect child of God. I promise you, the next time you see that person, you have just manifested a totally different person. This friend's brother is now going to be a nice man. Now, who changed? Who manifested what? Did you manifest a change in him, or did you manifest a change in yourself? I vote you manifested a change in yourself. And now you're attracting in, like attracts like. You're not attracting in guys and ass, you're attracting in child of God. It's amazingly powerful. So thank you for that.
Lori said she needed prayers for Coda's insurance, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
She wanted everybody to pray for that.
All right, well, definitely. So please, guys, this line, feel free to throw in a prayer request, because even if we skip it or don't see it, we never intentionally skip them. Everybody does read the comments, and please comment to each other. Let each other know that you're praying and helping each other. It just means so much. And this is such a wonderful community. Laura, I don't believe in coincidences, divine intervention, rather. Exactly. That's just what we were saying. There are no coincidences. I knew I was supposed to be a friend with Laura because the light that showed up around her, and our kids bonded immediately. Oh, that's so great, Aaron. I'm glad to hear that. Laura, God bless you too. Laura sent a beautiful gift to my mom when my father passed, and it's so appreciated. Colin, nice to have you back with us. Life is a classroom. All right, let's see. Lisa, how to get off it? First, identify that you've got a second best mentality, a beacon of lack and unworthiness. Recognize it was a lie told to you. Rebuild from there mentally and spiritually. Well, that's nice. I like that.
That's a step-by-step guide Lisa wrote you.
Yeah, there you go. And then her next comment is forgive, forgive, forgive. Yes and no. Again, maybe that person doesn't need to be forgiven. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for seeing that person for the way you see them, because you're manifesting them in your life. Every moment, every second, you're manifesting your existence. There's only now. So in this moment, you are creating a brother-in-law who's an ass. Oh gosh, I have only one brother-in-law and you are not an ass. I'm just using that as an example. I really do love you. Thank God he doesn't watch the show. So you're
Don't worry, his wife does.
You're manifesting that, not the other person. All there is one. So what if it's only you in this world and what you're seeing is a hologram of what you're creating? It's mystical, it's a far reach, but if you can kind of just for a moment imagine that there is nothing else but you and what you create, because truly that's all there is. So if you are not in a relationship, you are financially broke, you are utterly miserable, you have very few friends, what are you saying to yourself that you are building? Mind is the builder, that you are manifesting in this moment. And like Tony Robbins says, change it now, right now, because that's all you got is right now. Just make it happen. So let's see if we got any questions. Let's see. Dave, yes, thoughts turn into things. I am having positive thoughts that my new neighbor will be a wonderful person. Good for you. And just know they're a wonderful person, right? Grateful ladies for answering my question. You're quite welcome. Lori, I wanted love and financial freedom. Doesn't need to be Bill Gates wealthy. Good for you, sweetheart. So manifest it. What is it within you? What conversations are within you that you are blocking you from feeling entitled to? Why would God give the girl next door everything she wanted and not you? There's no reason. You are holding it up. You are blocking it. You want to add anything, Chris, or should I keep reading, honey?
I would keep going, see if there's any more questions.
Okay, here's the prayer request for Coda. Coda is the new little guy that we were all excited about. Cute little baby boy. Mommy needs some help financially. So yeah, we're going to pray, but mommy, why are you in the position you're in? What are you manifesting? Why are you allowing there to be shortage in your life? Do you not feel entitled? Do you not think God loves you the same as he loves the person who can afford the insurance comfortably? Of course he does. What are you manifesting? What is your conversation? What are your thoughts that are blocking this? Laura, I'm glad you needed to hear this today. A lot of us do. And Chris and I need to hear it also. We often tell ourselves, tell each other, well, what's going on for you? Why are you allowing this to be? And we get on each other. So in this little group, guys, get on each other in a loving, nice way. We're not making anybody wrong. We just want you to become aware of what's going on. Be aware of your thoughts. And a great way to be aware of your thoughts is to be prayerful. Jesus said, pray without stopping, pray in without ceasing. There's different versions, but basically, what a safe way to be. If you're in your head in a prayer, you're not in your head destroying something or being angry about something. So you're giving God all this freedom to just manifest in your life. All right, Lisa, seeing in your mind's eye, having and enjoying the things you've asked God, the universe, to manifest. Ask, but believe you'll receive it in the present tense. That's, yeah, a lot of people say that. You got to know, like, you already got it. You got to believe it like you've already gotten it. And that helps your mind create it. And I think that's so important. Thank you for sharing that. So, Gina, so instead of me asking God to make this music career thing happen for me, I should ask God to guide me on my path. And if it is music intuitive, then great. If not, I'm still on the path He wants me open on. Absolutely. Yes. Oh my God, Gina, that's magnificent and good for you. Yeah, just it. I heard this years ago and I loved it. It was a priest. He was talking and he said, listen, when you turn your life over to God, I promise you, you will not be in church playing the guitar on Sunday singing with us. Unless you love music and you love to sing in church, then you'll be in church singing with us. When you turn your life over to God, there's countless things that you love and want to do, and He's going to provide it for you because you can glorify Him in it. Hence the Eagles. Every one of them are glorifying God. Before they say, anything else, they're saying all glory goes to God because they understood, they turned it over. It's like, I'm going to do the best I can and turn it over. And Gina, you strive towards your music, but be open to whatever God wants. I'm striving toward a professional career in speaking. I'm working my butt off with all kinds of computer stuff and events, and like I'm traveling to Bangkok. I'm so excited. I'm open to God making this happen, but if He puts me on another trip, He puts me on another trip. You always do the most you can, and then you just leave the rest to God. So like those football players didn't just say, okay, we prayed, we don't have to do anything else. They went out there and they hustled their butts off and worked really hard. So
I have a story to tell them.
Go for it.
Before Nora and I started working all the time together, we went to, we used to volunteer in a local metaphysical chapter. And people would ask me all the time, well, what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about that? And I'm like, I don't know. God hasn't told me yet. And that was Nora's favorite thing. What do you mean He didn't tell you yet? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't said anything yet. I'll ask. So what do you want me to do about that? And everybody's been telling me lately since we've been doing the show, they see me looking off to the left, and somebody actually asked a friend of mine, who's feeding their information? We see her stop, look off to the left, and then come back like she didn't do anything. It's the angels and God. I speak to them. I go, oh, all right, okay, you want me to say that? All right, I'll bite. And I come back and I say it. And most times it's right on the money. It's not me, guys. It's them. I just tell you what I hear. And it's been like that since the beginning. I don't ever know where I'm going half the time, and I don't stop to worry about it. Mm-hmm. I just ask them, do I go left? Do I go right? If they tell me I need a definite right or left, they say go left, I go left. And I keep going until I run out of road again. I'm going, okay, now what do I do?
Now it's direction.
So you just true. Have to literally go as far as you can go. And just follow the path. And they'll put what they want in front of you. And Nora and I taught you how to tell, if you come to a Y in the road, mm-hmm. you know, what to do and how to maneuver that. Because your free will does play a part in this. How much in your free will are you allowing yourself to have?
Mm-hmm. So true. And just as a reminder, you get to that Y in the road, envision what does each path look like? Or ask a friend, should I take path A, path B? You know, there's several different techniques we talk about with the intuition. Um, but let's jump here. Carla, I do love this. I always felt it necessary to thank God once for all the good things and thank God twice for the bad things. The bad things usually turn out to be the blessings in disguise.
That's a good
Melissa,
one.
I love it. Melissa, manifesting shifts your perception. Shifting your perception manifests things. It can be both ways, but I'm saying shift the way you perceive, shift the way you think, and then you manifest.
Yeah.
So,
You have it a little backwards, Mel.
yeah, at least, I mean, I get what you're saying, but oh, and thank you. She's saying she's around for anybody who needs prayer. Just drop her a line, send her a message, put it on her Facebook page. I'm sure she'll be happy to help you. And also, Carla's asking for a prayer for wellness and healing in her life. So there's some people offering Reiki. Thank you, guys. That's so kind. Standing in prayer for everybody on the list. You guys are awesome. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else about manifestation? It kind of encompasses a lot of what we've talked about in previous shows.
Well, I want to talk to him about the God box, Nora.
I think that's a great idea because that's a real great technique for manifesting also.
Okay, guys. What you basically have to do is get yourself a little shoebox and put some kind of decoration on it. You can take white paper from the printer and draw yourself some angels, draw a pretty picture. You can take wrapping paper from Christmas with angels on it. Whatever makes you happy that reminds you of God and spirituality. And what I do is I take my little pieces of paper. I take a piece of paper, lined paper, and I cut like 10 pieces, strips out of it, laterally, horizontally across from it. And on the front, I date it, time it, and I put down what my request is. And I put it in the God box. And the reason I date it and time it and put my exact wish down there is so I know how long it's been in there. And I let it brew and stew for a total of 6 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I go in and I check. And I go, did the boss answer me? Nope, no answer yet. Okay, and I look at it, I read it out loud, and I tell them, okay, God, you still haven't answered this one. Okay, and then I go to the next one, and I look at that one, and I read it. And if they answered it, I turn the piece of paper over, and I put the date and the time, and I put what the answer was. And sometimes you got to be really careful what you ask for, because what I asked for and the way they answered it were two different ways, but the end result was the same. I was like, that's pretty tricky there, fellas. And I have to check it off with a green marker, and I put it in a notebook, just a regular spiral-bound notebook, and I tape it in there so I can flip back and forth. And when you need confirmation and affirmation that you got what they're hearing you, you're getting what you asked for, and you go through that book, and it kind of lifts your spirits. It makes me laugh at what I asked for versus what I got.
Oh, it's beautiful.
One of the things I got when, I don't know, about 15 years ago, I was going through a really hard time, and I wasn't able to have children. And the doctors couldn't figure it out. One minute I was fine. The next minute I had fibroids. The next minute I needed this surgery, that procedure. And I finally said to God, I don't care if they come black, white, green, purple, pink polka dotted children. Send me children. I'm dying over here. So you won't let me into heaven and you won't give me no children. This is not a deal that we agreed on. All of a sudden, something happened within our family, an emergency happened, and I became an instant foster mother. When I say instant, in the morning, I was an aunt. In the afternoon, I was a foster mom. And the state fast-tracked it and just went, boom, and red stamped me foster mom of the year. I took care of my little family problem, and then they said, oh, you're doing so good. How about we send you some emergency food? Okay, what's that? Well, they call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. Are you awake? You got room for 2 more children? And la la la. And you just sit there and wait for them to bring them to your door. It could be at 6 o'clock in the morning. They called you at 3. Maybe they show up at 6. The long and the short of the story is I ended up with about 7 kids of all different nationalities. And only about three left that I ever housed. One was because it was just a vacation child. The other one because the families finally found a grandparent to take them. And the other one, I think, was a grandparent. I used to call my house the black hole, the secret black hole. They were like, well, we'll send them over to the black hole. Is there any room over there? I was like, guys, that's not even funny. They're like, Chris, we know if they come over there, they're not coming out. That you'll keep them or find a reason to keep them.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. It's Chris is making it so clear. You didn't put guidelines on God.
I didn't say how I wanted it or how many I wanted. When I ran out of room, they just stopped sending them. You got no more room, lady. I was like, okay. It's like, boss, we're a little full. The ark is full. But that's how it manifests. And it comes really quickly. And it comes when you're not even looking at it. But when I would get down and out, I would go back to the God box. And I still sometimes do the God box. And I have a little silver one it's like a plastic one. It's like really small. It's like this big. My other one was a shoebox and I had it stuffed. And one of my girlfriends gave it to me because they went somewhere and they saw it and they said, oh, we got to get you the God box. And it says God box right on it. And it has a little cross on the top. And I sometimes will stick like a little request in there. And don't you know, it comes out within 2 weeks. I did it for 10, maybe 12 years. I only got 3 no's, guys. And I would only let it sit for 6 weeks. And I would check it every week, every 2 weeks, depending on how busy I got.
And in fact, the no was okay.
It went from a spiral bound notebook to looking like a binder. And it was just fun because I would ask for money. I would ask for time. I would ask for new ideas for taking the kids out to do something inexpensive that I could afford to do. I'd ask for, help with my college career. I would ask for all kinds of things. And sometimes they would send me a person to help me. Sometimes I would end up tutoring somebody and I would learn, or one of the teachers would see me tutoring somebody, so they'd take extra time to help me. It all just came around. What you put out there is what you get back.
Beautiful. This is an awesome, awesome question, and I really want to address it. Laura, it's so hard to change that daily mindset and sometimes obsessive of I'm broke or I'm overwhelmed, etc. What are some ways to change that mindset so you create a more positive manifestation? I'm so happy you asked this. I had the pleasure of meeting Edgar Cayce's grandson, and it was a funny meeting. We met in an elevator. Me and my mom were hysterically laughing, and this guy gets on the elevator and just started laughing with us. Ends up, he was the one holding the conference, but that's getting off track. He gave a great way to get over those negative thoughts. You throw the word but into it. It's almost impossible in the beginning to just stop having all negative thoughts. You have to form the habit of positive thoughts. I'm broke. It's going to hit you. And you just say, but I know I'm getting out of debt. But I know things are improving. I'm overwhelmed. But today, it's just better than it was yesterday, even if it hasn't been. You keep saying it because saying it is creating it. It is speaking it into existence. It is the I am that. So that I am broke, but I'm finding my way out of debt. I'm getting better. Money, I'm starting to save. I might be broke, but I'm still saving money. That but, B-U-T, can change anything. I'm fat, but I feel healthy and strong, and I'm doing better every day with my body. Don't keep beating yourself up. I'm fat. Give me a break. I'm fat, but I'm gorgeous. I'm fat, but I'm working on myself and I feel empowered. But Does that, I hope that helps because I loved that technique that I learned.
That's a great one though, because everybody falls into that trap.
Yeah, and you can't control your mind. You can't control some of these thoughts, especially when we've been having them for most of our life.
And it's our weaknesses that we are going to go to when we're feeling overwhelmed and when we're feeling down. And we're going to be our own worst enemy. So we have to learn how to be our best company.
Exactly.
And talk to your angels. Tell them to lift it from you because you need to learn to just look up and be grateful. Like I love to play with clouds. So when I get down, I just go look at a cloud and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. All right, thanks. Now I don't feel like I want to kill somebody anymore.
Exactly. Beautiful. So, Carla, this is another powerful question. What am I doing wrong then? I work hard. I pray. I try to be a good person every day, yet I don't see what I'm asking for. I feel forgotten by God. Well, that's why, honey. I feel forgotten by God. I'm forgotten by God. I'm forgotten. I'm forgotten. I'm forgotten. That's what you're manifesting. So, you're not doing anything wrong. When you say, what am I doing wrong? You want to say, if that thought comes into your head, I must be doing something wrong, but obviously not. I'm a powerful, beautiful woman. I know things will work out. I know things are working out, not will work out, because will never comes. Things are working out. I feel like God's just forgotten me, but I know that's a silly thought. Of course he loves me. Take the sting out of those thoughts. You are a powerful person. You're a prayerful person. You have beautiful energy, and I don't know you. I'm just telling you what I'm picking up. You've not been forgotten. You just are blocking. You are manifesting minimalism. You are manifesting barely getting by. You are manifesting smallness when you are great and you are big. So change the conversations. Sit down, write down some of the thoughts that are in your mind and reword them with a but. Put the but and throw something in there. Just a few words that you can do for yourself when those thoughts come up. And I promise you, your world will change.
And do a little God box for a little while, just until you start to see that A, he hasn't forgotten you, and B, you know that he's kind of funny in how he's going to give you what he's going to give you. Because you're going to look for it in one direction. It's going to come from a whole other direction.
Very
and
true.
in a whole nother way that you never even thought of. And it's actually quite funny after a while. You have to laugh.
You have to laugh at some of it. It's very true. Dave, you're right. Always, always give thanks. And, that's part of being in prayer. Your prayer can just be, thank you for, this beautiful moment. Thank you for whatever. Tina, I've always been told fake it till you make it, meaning believe that you always have it or that you are where you already want to be. And, there's truth in that. There's truth in that. I'm saying, it's what you're speaking. You might not believe you're a powerful person, but I'm telling you to say it. Say it by taking the sting out of it. Fake it till you make it, because it is what you say, what you speak, what you think of, what you focus on is what you manifest. So fake it till you make it. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. I believe it. Now, I never I said that for years, and I never distinguished. I meant money, God. So I am wealthy, but not with money yet. That's coming shortly. But I'm wealthy with love, with friends, with community, with family, joy. I'm so wealthy. What really matters. And I'm now working on manifesting the wealthy with financial. So yeah, fake it till you make it, guys, because you will. And Gail, good for you. Make a God box. Make it cute too. Paint it. We only have a few more minutes. So real quick, we want to remind you guys about the Philadelphia show. Chris and I will be live on February 18th in South Philadelphia. Tickets are only $35. The room is almost full. We're about 3/4 of the way there, so get those seats while you still can. We will be back next week. We do need help with picking a name for the show, and we very much would like you to communicate with each other, support each other, and share the show with those you know will enjoy the show. Anything you want to add? We got like 3 minutes, Chris. You want to give them one more raw of how to manifest?
Basically, make it like an everyday morning and night thing. I tell my clients that when there's a certain card that comes up, when they're going to actually manifest, because that's what's showed to me. But you can do it every day. And I tell everybody, get a picture that reminds you of God and put it on your phone. And every morning when you brush your teeth, you set your intent. And every night when you brush your teeth, you thank God for everything that went well. And in both sessions, you just have 5 minutes of grateful time, and you just tell them everything your heart wants. And I tell everybody, keep like a little shopping list there and write it all out, and then read it once a day out loud. And if you have anything you add to it. And I'm telling you, people get amazing results, but you have to believe that you're going to get it, and just let it go. It's written down. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to worry about it. God's got it. It's a shortened version of the God box. The grocery shopping list.
That's perfect. Thank you, guys. Again, the PDF is available. The link is in the first comment on this feed. Share with each other. Share with people you know who will enjoy the show. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving us this time, hanging out with us. Time is valuable, and that you spend this time with Chris and I is just so moving. We
need some topics, guys.
Yeah, throw in. Yeah, at the end of this, guys, throw in some more. Let's see what we're going to talk about next week. I love that you guys give us ideas. Of course, the two of us we just love it. We just really do. Thank you again, and good night.
Good night, ladies.
Don't hang up, Chris.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Thank you again.